Everyone, this is Saturday, August 27th at about 5:15 or so, and we're having a vigil out here to support our Muslim neighbors, and I'm going to ask the participants why they came today. Larry, you want to tell the public why you came out here today?
Well, as you said, to support our Muslim neighbors. We do have Muslim families living in our midst these days, and we want them to know and encourage the public to, support, equality, tolerance, cultural diversity that is actually good for our community, and to oppose the Islamophobia and the hate that exists in central Minnesota. And encourage people to love their neighbors, cooperate with their neighbors, know their neighbors, support their neighbors, so that we can hopefully live in a decent society.
Thanks. And Doug, why did you come here today?
Well,
your sign says, Peace is Islamophobia's worst nightmare. Maybe you want to explain that.
Absolutely. Well, Robin, thank you very much for making the sign too.
You're welcome.
It's a beautiful sign. And the reason it's Islamophobia's worst nightmare is when you think about Islamophobia, prejudice against, hatred of Muslims, it's been around for a long time, but prior to September 11th, 2001 and the subsequent wars in Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Syria, Yemen, there really wasn't an organized Islamophobic movement in this country. I'm sure there were some Islamophobes out there speaking and, writing books and whatnot, but these wars, which are perceived by many people as wars on Islam, and I don't see them that way, although I could see where some folks might see that, because after all, the nations the U.S. is waging war on are predominantly Muslim nations. But these have been regime change wars, going into Afghanistan to overthrow the Taliban, Iraq to overthrow Saddam Hussein, Libya to overthrow Muammar Gaddafi, Syria to try to overthrow Bashar al-Assad, and so forth. But the thing is, these wars, as you know, have produced a lot of blowback terrorism. People are angry. They lose their loved ones in these wars, and not just the conventional wars, but the drone wars that the U.S. has been waging, for the last 14 years. Many thousands of innocent people have died in Afghanistan, Pakistan, Yemen, Somalia, from the drone wars. So, some of those folks who lose loved ones, they join groups like Al-Qaeda or ISIS, and other people here in the U.S. or in Canada or in Great Britain, France, and the countries that are taking part in these wars, who are upset about what's going on. Muslim people resort to terrorism. Now, killing innocent civilians is always wrong, whether it's a government doing it or a terrorist group or an individual. But when there's a terrorist attack, say like what happened in Paris last November, the Islamophobes are quick to jump on that. They're very quick to exploit those fears, and they're like, see, we got to keep the Muslims out. We got to exclude them, ban Muslims from immigrating to the United States. Don't allow them to build mosques, in your city. And, I am convinced that without these wars, and then very negative publicity. The mainstream media is complicit in this too, because you very seldom read positive stories about Muslims, Muslim Americans. And movies are really bad. It's very seldom do you find positive Muslim characters, positive Arab characters. But I tell you, if these wars were to end, it would really put a dent in Islamophobia, because then the blowback terrorism, if it wouldn't end altogether, it would be greatly reduced. As it is right now, there's very little terrorism in this country, very little. You're much more likely to be hit by lightning than you are to be killed by a terrorist or have heavy furniture fall on you, let alone to be in a car accident. But still, every terrorist attack is exploited by the Islamophobes to whip up fear, whip up prejudice, because most people who aren't Muslims know very little about the religion. I don't know a great deal about myself, and they can exploit that ignorance, and they can use selective quotes from the Quran or just make things up out of whole cloth, and people don't know any better. I honestly think if these wars were to come to an end, it would put a huge dent in Islamophobia. There'd be very little terrorism, as there is now. There isn't very much. There'd be even less. And with less terrorism, there'd be less anger, less anxiety, less prejudice against Muslims who are wrongly, almost all Muslims, just like almost all Christians, Jews, Hindus, Buddhists, atheists, agnostics, are good people. But still, they're wrongly tarred as terrorists or terrorist supporters. And without that, I really believe that these folks, these Islamophobes, wouldn't be able to exploit fear, wouldn't be able to exploit the prejudice. And it's a business, like Jelani Hussein said last spring. These folks sell books, they sell DVDs, they charge most of the time when they speak in a community. I mean, they make money off of this. I mean, that's what's really disgusting. They make money off of people's fear and prejudice. And so, without the wars, without the terrorism that the wars produce, these folks, if they didn't go out of business altogether, it'd put a huge dent in their business. Just to give you an historical comparison, the John Birch Society used to go around, saying, oh, communists, they're everywhere, and, they're secretly infiltrating our government, our universities, and our schools, just like the Islamophobes, substitute the word Muslim for communist. They're writing our textbooks, they're changing our laws. Well, when the Cold War ended, and the public stopped fearing communism, wasn't that much of an issue anymore, well, that business that the John Birch Society and other groups like that had, it really went down. And I think the same thing would happen here with Islamophobia if you had peace. So,
now you're maybe not aware of this because it's just in the paper today. I just saw it before I came out here. Lauren Boyum, who's running for re-election as city council member, and I'm in his ward, Ward 1, I'm one of his challengers, has stated publicly in a newspaper article that's on the front page of the most recent Morrison County Record that I got delivered today and most people get delivered tomorrow. He states that he doesn't think that the FBI should be called in at this time based upon Jelani Hussein from CARE's request to bring in the FBI to help solve the hate crime against Anab Ali. And he makes a statement that he doesn't think at this time that that's warranted or necessary or would be a good move, or I forget his exact phraseology, but basically he's saying not at this time. What do you think about that comment?
All right, here's my opinion on that comment. I think what you have to do is you have to start, it took a lot of courage for Anab to file the complaint with the police. You've told me yourself her daughter pleaded with her not to do it, but she did it. And that took
all
a
of
lot
her kids.
of courage. That was very brave of her to take that, because some people don't, but she did. I think what you do is, you see if the local police, whether it's the Little Falls City Police, the Morrison County Sheriff's Department, see if they can crack this nut, see if they can find out who did this and hold those individuals legally accountable, which they should be. They committed a hate crime. It's wrong what they did. They threatened, a family. They threatened to burn down their home. They threatened one of the boys, if you ever set foot on my property, I'll kill you, made a death threat.
Not those same guys.
But another guy. They should be held accountable for their actions. But, let's say the local police, the county police can't do it. Then you get the Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, the BCA. That's Minnesota's, equivalent of the FBI, essentially. See if they can solve this. And then if they can't, I would definitely use the resources of the FBI. I mean, that's how I would do it, quite frankly. So I don't know what he means by at this time. But if he's saying that, you should not get them involved, no. If the Little Falls City Police, the Morrison County Sheriff's Department, and the BCA can't solve this, then bring in the FBI to investigate.
I don't think Morrison County has anything to do with this because the crime was committed in the city of Little Falls.
But Little Falls is part of Morrison County, but I'm not sure how that operates. Maybe it's outside the jurisdiction, but certainly
I don't know
the BCA
either.
does. So I would say, try the Little Falls City Police.
There's a Confederate flag now.
Yeah, I saw that. Try the Little Falls City Police. Try the BCA. And if that doesn't go anywhere, get the FBI involved. In fact, quite frankly, if the Little Falls City Police and the BCA wanted to get the FBI involved right now and said, we just don't have the resources, we don't have the personnel to do this, but the FBI can help us, I'd say go right ahead. So I would say if they want to do it now or if they want to wait within a reasonable amount of time, but not too long, because, as you know, when something like this happens and months go on and eventually months turn into years, you may never hold these individuals accountable for what they did.
Well, like Jelani's comment was, and the reason CARE wants the FBI to come in now, they have resources that this Little Falls Police Department does not have access to. And they were successful in solving the hate crime that Matthew Gus committed up in
East Grand Forks
against the Juba Cafe, and had they not been involved, they might not have been able to to solve that
say,
case.
You know, the FBI, like you said, has the expertise, they have the experience, they have the resources, and so, yeah, I'd say if they want to get involved, absolutely. And, yeah, to say that, oh, they shouldn't become involved or to wait, you know, like 3-4 months or something, that'd be totally ridiculous. So, you know, see what the local police, state police can do and get the FBI in, whether it's now or it's, you know, in another, you know, week or something, however long they think.
See, I agree with Jaylani that the FBI should be brought in right away because they have a lot more intelligence operatives available and ways to solve crimes that this police department isn't equipped,
Right.
I don't think, ever to solve. And maybe they never will. I mean, there have been a number of murders here committed recently, or suspected murders, drownings and so on, that they have never solved. So I would be agreeing with Jaylani that the FBI should be called in to investigate and help solve the crime. But I'm going to get
Sure.
Gayle's
And I hope
opinion.
whoever, you know, I hope these folks who did this to Anab and her family, I hope they are held accountable. Yeah, they're scum of the earth as far as I'm concerned, to threaten a mother and her family.
well, they certainly committed a criminal act. So thank you much for your comments, Doug. Gayle, why did you come today?
I came today because, for one thing, I've got to do something against these injustices. So I'm not on my deathbed thinking I knew this was going on and didn't do anything about it. And the other reason is that I really don't want to live in a society where women and children are victimized and threatened to have their house burned down because of the color of their skin or the religion they've chosen to practice.
What do you think of that guy coming by just now with the American flag on one side of his back of his pickup truck and the Confederate flag on the other side? What do you think of that?
I don't think he gets it. You know, he doesn't get it. He probably thinks it's his right to fly whatever kind of flag he wants, and he doesn't realize that flag symbolizes years and years of slavery and repression for black people.
So do you think he's just doing that because he thinks he's one of these people that believes don't tread on me, and he's a Tea Party type and he's flying it because he has the right to? Or do you think he's really a racist?
I don't know. I don't know if he's really a racist.
If you
there
weren't-
certainly is some prejudice in there, and is it out of ignorance or is it out of just meanness? I don't know.
Do you
Because if
think-
he were aware, he wouldn't be flying the flag.
Do you think anybody could possibly fly the Confederate flag without being a racist? Do you believe that?
Yeah, I do. I think people are just not bright, and they don't think about things. They don't think about things. And I think that's a big problem in this country. People do not think about things. They just take what is spoon-fed them and live that way.
Thanks
And that's
very
why
much for coming.
Education is so important.
It is, yep. And Laura,
Hi.
I'm going to ask why you came today.
I came for my kids. I think it's important that they grow up in a community that cares about people, and I don't think that anyone should have their house burned down because of who they are.
Right, like Gayle was saying, you know, to attack a mom and her kids, innocent, hard-working mom and her kids, and threaten their lives is just simply not acceptable. It shouldn't be acceptable in any community.
As a mother, my heart goes out to them. I can't imagine being a mom and having two men come to my door and tell me that my house will be burned down, you know, unless I move. I don't think that's right, and I didn't think that was possible in a place like Little Falls, but I guess that's why I'm here today. Say otherwise, that people are welcome here no matter where they come from, no matter what their beliefs are, and, you know, there is a community of people that do care about people here.
Thanks for coming, Laura.
Everyone's welcome. Thank you.
Have a great day, folks. Thanks for watching. This is Little Falls, Minnesota, August 27th, 2016, out here in front of Colburn Superstore, where the mayor is the manager. Thanks for watching.